much that they feel some of the feelings of the younger generation in the PDP. We're speaking with one of the elders of the party, former Governor Sule Lamido. I'm being joined by a lawyer and a member of the PDP, Ilemana Onoja. Thank you so much, Ilemana, for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, Shegun.
You were laughing.
Yeah. I mean, that
is Atiku a sellable candidate?
A couple of things to answer that question. One, he has a history, right? History of delivery in office. He's not a new face, so to speak. There's antecedents that he can present and say, I was able to achieve this, that, and the other while I was in office as vice president of the country. That includes the ability to deliver economic reforms, included the ability to deliver telecommunication reforms, service reforms, and everything. So there's a category of achievements that he can point to and say, yes, this is essentially what I did in the past, and then this is what I can replicate going into the future.
We have a population of voters between the age of 18 and 35. And when former Vice President Atiku Abubakar left office in 2011, it was in office 1999 to 2023, 2023 to 2007.
Yes,
a lot of them may not even remember who an Atiku Abubakar was when he was in office in 2007. About 1999 to 2007. So the consciousness of the young, this population that I'm talking about, 18 and 35, to convince them, they make about 60% of the voting population in Nigeria. How will your party convince this bloc that Atiku is the right man?
One of the things that the PDP has always been about is building a tree under which some of his party leaders might not be alive to stay under, the shade under which they might not be alive to stay under. That people were young at the time does not negate the fact that they enjoyed the benefits of that governance even to the day. I'll give you an example, telco. One of the strongest parts, one of the strongest producing, most inclusive for young people parts of the Nigerian economy to this day, in spite of the best or the worst efforts of the Buhari administration, has been ICT, telecommunications. That has only been possible because of a policy that was implemented as far back as the year 2000. That we are being able to see fintechs prosper, that we're being able to see all sorts of ICT platforms prosper, goes back to a telecommunications revolution that was built in the year
it brings me back to the
2000.
Question, is Atiku a sellable candidate? Is PDP sellable to Nigeria today?
I'm saying that once you put them beside the APC, you will see a and this is where I disagree with your point that the parties all look the same. No, the results have shown us 16 years and then the last 7 years that they're remarkably different.
Really?
Yes, they're remarkably different. I can point out to you.
Bukola Saraki was a former APC, Atiku Abubakar, former APC, Rotimi Amechi, former PDP. So the question when
ask yourself why. What's
the difference between
yourself why
the platforms are the same? I mean, different, but the people who cross those platforms are just the same.
Ask yourself why fundamentally the performance of certain people change when they leave one party to the other. Ask yourself that question. Why are there people who are a little bit more cosmopolitan, more open-minded, and then they go to the APC and then they're narrow-minded? Ask yourself that question. Ask yourself why the PDP is able to point to pro-capitalist policies that encourage business, that gets government out of business. And the APC's flagship policies are welfarist, socialist at best. Ask yourself why.
Okay, we'll take a breather. But one fundamental issue that I'd like to speak to is how the reconciliation will happen. You, for example, you worked for Bukola Saraki. Is your team healing? Has it healed? Are you guys ready to work for Atiku Abubakar? These are some of the issues that I'll raise with you when we come back from this break. And of course, when we come back, we'll be speaking with a chieftain of the APC, Honorable Farouk Adamu Aliyu, on the concept of consensus and what the decision of President Buhari could be on the party's choice. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much and welcome back, everyone. Ilemina Onaja is a member of PDP and a lawyer. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
So the question is, has your camp healed? The principal got a 70 vote as against the winner that got over 300 votes.
We're healing. Like most Nigerians and like many members, most members of the party, we're driven by a passion to contribute positively to socio-political, development and growth in the country. That includes being able to either do that directly or being able to contribute to somebody else being able to do that. And that's the position. The position is this, like His Excellency Alhaji Sule Lamido said, this was an intra-party affair. It was a competition of ideas within the House. Having completed that process, of course, it might take some people a shorter period of time to come onto the same page and it will take others. But our party has always been known for that, the ability to come onto the same page and then to offer to Nigerians a completely different path from the 7 years of economic terrorism and maladministration that we've been compelled to suffer under. I have no doubts that, at this point, I actually do have to give Dr. Bukola Saraki a lot of commendation. The work that was done by the National Reconciliation Committee before the primaries, long ago. I mean, over the course of 2021.
Was it being prevailed upon to step down for Atiku?
I'm not going to answer that question, sure.
Okay, why not?
It's not in my place to answer.
Okay, you're not privy to it.
That's not what I said. It's not just in my place. That's his story to tell, and I'm sure that he'll tell that story when the time is right.
Okay, so now, there are meetings, there are consultation and considerations on who will be the running mate to Atiku Abubakar.
Yes, please.
And whether or not, where the party is going to look to, is it the Southwest or the South? Because all of these permutations will also determine how the party can win the election. We understand that, in fact, its election process is ongoing within the party. In your own mind, where do you think is best for the party to look into?
I don't have an opinion as to where is best. What I have an opinion is as to what sort of profile is best. Our party has to pick someone who's urbane, somebody who understands the issues. Our party has to pick someone who's empathetic, somebody who has an understanding of what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. Our party has to pick somebody who has a proven track record of being able to deliver excellent quality service while in
Will it be a Southeasterner? Because now you've gone to Northeast where they've never had it.
It is necessary at this point to speak across the Niger, right? So you're representing you've picked somebody from the Northeast. It's important at this point to speak across the Niger. Which of the southern regions, I really don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. But like I said, I think it is more important to speak as to the profile, the sort of person the person will be, the vice president, the running mate will be, and what that person brings to the table, as opposed to...
Ilemina Onaja, lawyer and a member of the PDP. Thank you indeed for coming tonight.
Thank you so much for having me, Sean.